started. I apologize, I was waiting for another member who had told me he was on his way a while ago, but he's still not here and I don't want to keep everybody waiting. So if we could just all rise and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the fiscal year 2021 budget consultations for Staten Island. Just going to move right into it. We can take care of our other housekeeping issues at tonight's meeting. So we're going to move right into the presentations. The first one we have the Staten Island Culturals. And for anybody that didn't make it to the morning session, we'll make sure that they get your testimony tonight.
Great. And Ms. Pino? Good morning. Okay. Good morning, Lloyd. Good morning, members of the Staten Island Borough Board, and good morning, fellow community leaders. My name is Eileen Bukes, President and CEO of the Snug Harbor Cultural Center and Botanical Garden, but today representing 5 of Staten Island's leading cultural institutions, which are also members of the city's cultural institution groups, the CIG. On behalf of Snug Harbor, Staten Island Museum, who's here represented, Historic Living in Town, Jessica, the Staten Island Zoo, and the Staten Island Children's Museum, we appreciate this opportunity to address our borough board. We share a common purpose. We are cultural strongholds that are always striving to be responsive to the community with sustainability, diversity, and inclusion as priorities. We reach visitors locally, regionally, and beyond. Importantly, we serve tens of thousands of youth eager and enthusiastic to learn about the world around them. Since last year, all 5 organizations have adopted board-approved diversity, equity, and inclusion plans. We continue to meet regularly and work collaboratively to advance the goals of the plan. We are committed to ensuring that our communities are not only welcome but represented and reflective of the demographic tapestry of Staten Island. Your support in the past has enabled us to keep our facilities open and vital, Staten Islanders employed, and our programs sustained. Snug Harbor is where the arts, history, and nature converge. Founded in 1801 as a charitable rest home for, quote, aged, decrepit, and worn-out sailors, today Snug Harbor is a vibrant regional cultural center welcoming 500,000 annual visitors to our galleries, gardens, and grounds. We offer dynamic programming in the arts, horticulture, and agriculture for diverse backgrounds and all ages on a historic age-grade campus that is an urban oasis for New Yorkers. Snug Harbor is a proud Smithsonian affiliate, the only one on Staten Island. We envision being a locally impactful, globally renowned destination true to our values of artistic vibrancy and community, inclusion and discovery, stewardship and conservation. Recent highlights of Snug Harbor include hosting the 2nd annual New York City Winter Lantern Festival, completion of our capital project scope development site-wide master plan for capital investment, and groundbreaking on a new music hall annex. The Staten Island Museum, founded in 1881, has been called a mini Smithsonian because of the breadth of its collections in natural science, art, and history, presenting exhibitions and programs that explore these subjects and their dynamic connections. Since fall of 2015, the Staten Island Museum has welcomed a growing audience of 40,000 visitors annually to the state-of-the-art renovated green building at the Snug Harbor campus, and is set to expand in the coming years. The Staten Island Museum provides opportunities for more than 10,000 school children annually to participate in STEAM learning. This week, in honor of the centennial of the 19th Amendment, the Staten Island Museum opens a new major exhibition presenting stories of Staten Island women and suffragists, highlighting the incredible local women who contributed to the national movement, whose stories have not received the attention they deserve until now. The Staten Island Children's Museum has been a treasured institution in the community. This past year, we welcomed 150,000 children, families, school groups, and educators from the immediate neighborhood, the borough, Brooklyn, and the metro area. The Children's Museum serves as an educational resource to the city's public schools. 24,000 students visit on field trips, and 48,000 students participate in one of 22 free in-school or after-school arts experiences, ranging in subjects from the visual and performing arts to cooking to leadership development. In addition to offering an array of both permanent and changing exhibits, spring, winter, and summer camps, and special events throughout the year, the Children's Museum has wholeheartedly embraced its role as a trusted community partner. It has expanded its reach by offering free admission days and thematic programming months that celebrate the rich offerings of different ethnicities and groups who are part of the community. This outreach includes sharing the best of the museum outside of its walls through such efforts as its art residency program, which brings arts to the schools that may not have a dedicated art teacher. Through this program, students create artwork which is then displayed in various locations throughout the island, including businesses in the Charleston Shopping Center. Historic Richmond Town is comprised of 100 acres over 4 unique sites with a total of 45 historic structures. Their mission is to preserve and present centuries of American life by celebrating the ordinary people from every background who have worked together to build an extraordinary country. This is accomplished through living history interpretation, museum exhibitions, and varied educational programming. The campus receives over 115,000 annual visitors, of which 25,000 are students, and our off-site educational programming and online educational access point, such as their digitized collection, reaches thousands more throughout the world. The Staten Island Zoo was the first of America's zoos to be founded more than 80 years ago with an educational mission, a legacy that continues. The Staten Island Zoo remains in the forefront of weaving effective educational programs into its cultural role as a place of adventure, discovery, and fun for all ages. Proud to be the biggest little zoo in America, it showcases more than 1,100 animals nestled in a beautiful 8-acre park. Featuring over 350 species of animals from 6 continents, it is a leader in wildlife conservation, maintaining more than 70 endangered or threatened species. The zoo is a destination for more than 190,000 annual visitors, serving more than 60,000 school-age children each year. Having just opened its exciting new aquarium, the zoo will focus its attention, and the attention of the Borough Board as well, on development of the Clove Entrance Discovery Zone, which will dramatically alter the flow of visitors to the facility. Even though each of our institutions has a unique vision and mission, we are here today united with our message about the numerous positive impacts we have on the economy of this borough and the quality of Staten Island life that we believe we enrich. Together we employ more than 200 people at our institutions, attract more than 900,000 visitors, support countless local small businesses, and have daily impact in the lives of Staten Island residents. We serve all New Yorkers as well as all of Staten Island. We have partnerships with Staten Island public and private schools to be sure, and we have and continue to develop partnerships with off-island schools, including programs for pre-K students, elementary school trips, after-school programs, internships for high schoolers, career readiness and internship programs for college students. We serve our seniors, and we all offer employment opportunities for underemployed youth during the summer months, opportunities that have expanded over the years. As organizations with tight budgets, rumors of cuts to city agencies are cause for concern. Stable city funding levels are vital to ensure our abilities to provide services that strengthen communities and increase the quality of life of Staten Islanders. City funding for our institutions is an investment with a return of significant economic impact. We bolster tourism, we purchase services from local businesses, and we promote civic and community pride. As a group, we do not stand still. Preparing for all the exciting developments on the borough's waterfront, our cultural organizations have been meeting, preparing, and tapping into a new vitality. We are actively contributing to economic growth. At the same time, we are active supporters of the cultural initiatives being stimulated by our dominant funding agency and Great NYC Cultural Plan to encourage all New Yorkers to participate in the spread of a cultural wave. It is important to acknowledge that Staten Island CIGs are vital resources that provide essential services to island families, tourists, and visitors each day. We know we can't do this alone, and we hope that you can help us carry forward our mission that all Staten Islanders deserve access to culture, nature, education, and history. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for me? Were you able to get your application and everything in?
Are we sure?
Okay, that's great. The other culturals,
Oh, yeah.
everybody got their cultural applications in for Friday's deadline?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Alice Austin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Victoria Munro. I'm the Executive Director of the Alice Austin House. The Alice Austin House is grateful to the Borough President and Staten Island City Council members for supporting the meaningful history, photography, and educational programming offered to Staten Islanders of all ages to experience and learn about the famous historical Staten Islander, early American photographer, Alice Austin. 2019 was an incredible year for the Alice Austin House. We opened our new permanent exhibition, which fully explores the life and work of Austin. We renovated all our public galleries and now permanently exhibit well over 100 Austin photographs and centre the compelling story of her 53-year loving relationship with Gertrude Tate. We also created a student gallery to celebrate the work created in our programs, finally. I am pleased to report that in 2019, we delivered educational programming to over 3,000 Staten Island K through 12th grade students, both in-school and on-site education programs. The Alice Austin House also celebrated the anniversary of its National Historic designation to include LGBTQ history as an area of significance with a landmark Stonewall exhibition, which brought together 15 queer rights activists from across America to participate in photographic portraits commissioned by the house with renowned lesbian photographer Collier Shaw. These portraits became the cover story for the Advocate's printed and online Pride issue in a year that marked both New York City as the Pride City of the world and the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. Our commitment to our new designation has guided the continued development of new LGBTQ-based programming. We created programs with the Senior Sage community and 3 new Staten Island High School Pride groups. We also participated in our 3rd Genders and Sexualities Alliance New York-wide High School Summit, which was attended by over 1,600 students. I am thrilled to share that our Education Department has extended our special partnership with IS 49 to offer the only arts programming at the school for a 4th year. The museum is proud to provide education and creative arts programming through the City Council's Special Cultural Immigrant, Cultural After-School Adventures and Coalition of Theatres of Colour initiatives. Today we're actually taking all the students in the IS 49 program to a play in the city. They're going to see West Side Story. So just an amazing opportunity for students that very rarely perhaps leave the borough or even their neighbourhood. These funds are secured by council members Debbie Rose and Stephen Matteo, and we hope to work with South Shore students in 2021 with the support of council member Joseph Borelli. With Borough President funding, we offer our popular annual Community Day Festival, free to the public, featuring local music, food and drink, photography activities and museum tours. We are requesting funding for this year's event to take place on July 18th, 2020. And we anticipate approximately 600 attendees. Our request to City Council members for FY21 is to provide women's history programming and LGBTQ programming for Staten Island public school students in each district. And I can't emphasise how much the need is there for that programming for the Gender Sexualities Alliance programs. When you see 1,600 students coming on their day off school, asking for more programs and workshops, and there's no funding for arts programming for those students, it's really so key. And also the funding for our initiative has been through the Expanding Audiences program and is currently come to an end this March. So the museum's board and staff are proud to serve the community in ensuring that the legacy of Alice Austin is known to Staten Islanders, and to preserve this landmark treasure in partnership with the New York City Parks Department. I extend a warm invitation to the museum to enjoy our spring and summer programming, which includes a new exhibition celebrating the life and work of former Staten Island resident Audre Lorde. Thank you for your support and consideration.
Did you submit a capital application this year or?
All right, so. No, so you're not going to believe this. So I went and had this meeting with at Linda Riccardone's office, and was told by Historic House Trust, which is our sort of portal to parks, right? It's supposed to be. They said that we are not allowed to have any capital that involves the support of purchase of new equipment, because all capital requests have to be funneled through them, and because we're a historic house, they couldn't support anything that might need to be plugged into the wall. So, one of the things that is so hard for us, and I did send you a little email saying, I just don't know what to do, and I followed up on so many different avenues on this. I mean, basically what I do need is a visitor centre. It's a new building that we can actually do stuff in. That Parks Department was like, oh, don't be crazy, Victoria, new buildings never happen. I'm like, no, I'm allowed to pursue this. I think it's really important. However, all of these programs use our cameras, our printers, and our computers. So there's a certain amount that we could like write into grants that is about like wear and tear on those. But to actually purchase new equipment, there's basically really nothing out there.
Are you allowed to apply to the savings foundations? Now that you're
Yes.
suddenly not allowed to apply for capital?
Yes, and we do.
Okay.
We absolutely do. We are waiting for a meeting with Richmond County, but they also did just support us $50,000 as part of all of the renovation of our new galleries. Northfield contributed $15,000 to our Staten Island wall, and the Staten Island Foundation contributed $50,000 for the creation of the new education gallery. And we're currently in a $50,000 program for expanding our education department and programs. And one of the things I'm thrilled to also share with you today is when I started 2 years ago, I was the only full-time staff member, and we now have 4 as of March 1st. That is massive growth in 2 years. And our first full-time education director, and now we have a full-time director of development.
And the IS-49 program, that's through the CASA grant, or is that
That is
through?
the CTC, that's
Okay.
Coalition of Theatres of Colour, but we got the independent funding to give them a 4th year of portraiture program I developed when I was in the education department, where we come in and we work with the students on what is photographic messaging and literacy through photography. So they take portraits of themselves and they create messages which they integrate into their photographs, and those are currently displayed in the school. We taught it across the entire 7th grade, which I tell you is a feat, because there's hundreds of students and handling hundreds of photographs and organising and working through a process with them. And as you may know, they're an incredibly high needs school, so there's a lot of other dynamic issues that happen during programming. And our current Theatres of Colour program, they'll actually present a full performance at the end of the program.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you. I will talk to Parks and see what the thinking is there.
Yeah. I mean, I get where they put the stoppers on, because Parks is like no, and then HHT's like hell no. You know, so it's like these layers of no's that you deal with. But there's ways to purchase equipment that wouldn't put electrical strain on the house, and so many things like that. So that we wrote it, the grant,
Okay.
and then we were told that we could submit it by both departments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Person-centered care services?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elizabeth D'Augusto, Communications Manager at Person-Centered Care Services. Person-Centered Care Services seeks city funding in support of 4 initiatives this year. We were fortunate enough to have received funding last year for our Disability Ally Initiative. Through this funding, our initiative grew and the support for people with disabilities grew as well. We are so thankful. Our organization, established in 2001, supports persons with a variety of disabilities and a variety of ages. We support over 650 persons with a disability. We ask again for requests of funds to make a difference in the lives of not only the persons with disabilities, but the community at large. The Disability Ally Initiative is a multi-layered approach to training and educating the larger community. Through this initiative, PCCS has developed relationships with organizations to provide training and education on interacting and working with people with disabilities. These educational opportunities are taught by trainers with experience, including both persons with and without disabilities. This initiative is providing education at a young age to foster the leaders of tomorrow. Acceptance needs to be at the forefront of the community to drive what community really means. Our Disability Ally Initiative is a true movement of integration for persons throughout the community. And through funding, we can continue to impact more throughout the community. In our experience, we have come to realize that better relationships are fostered between community members and the people we support once the proper education and trainings are put in place in areas such as disabilities culture, communications tips, and general etiquette. By fostering this education with our local youth, we are able to grow and develop children into leaders who are more accepting of others. These youth become workers within our community who advocate for others. These youth one day will become our local business owners. By developing these thoughts and growth within children now, we are able to develop as a community that we have always been known to be, one that looks out for one another. In taking this training, we truly will look out for all people. Education about disabilities also provides an insight for businesses to better engage with persons with disabilities and provide employment opportunity for all persons. When the community is trained in our Disability Ally Initiative, there is a more accepting community to integrate people with disabilities into our world. We are also seeking funding for housing opportunities for people that we support. This includes money for furniture and necessities in their apartments, tools to cook with, clean with, and lights to keep their apartments a home. Many of the people we support have not been able to receive jobs because they are turned away due to having disabilities. Because of this, they cannot afford things such as couches or beds when they are living on their own. Funding would help them get these items to live in a place they can call their home. We hope that you consider our program as an important initiative during the funding application period, and we invite any questions about this initiative and appreciate the time you've taken for the consideration of our program.
Thank you for coming. I know we funded you last year for the first time. Hopefully that'll be a smoother process now that you're all registered and everything. I don't think I really have any questions. Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Meg, the Jacques Monchet Museum of Tibetan Art.
So, thank you all. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I am pleased to announce that 2020 marks the 75th anniversary of the museum's founding, and we're very pleased that we're able to carry out Jacques' mission and vision of preserving the art and culture of Tibet for the last 75 years, and thank you to our community members and elected officials that have been supporting the museum. A little bit of news, if you all don't know this, I am actually leaving the museum at the end of March. So I just wanted to kind of update you on where we are and what's happening with the museum and the capital funding that has been requested and received for the last couple of years here at the museum. So just a quick update regarding city funding. The museum has completed the City Council discretionary application and is requesting discretionary funding from all of the City Council members for the Cultural Immigrant Initiative, which has funded music and dance programs at the museum and exhibitions and programs, and also through the Cultural Development Fund. And just a little, also FYI, if you have the chance to visit City Hall, 6 paintings from the museum's collection are on view in Speaker Corey Johnson's suite, and they'll remain there until the end of 2021. So we're happy to have our collection on the road. Just a quick update on our city funding. Through fiscal 2020, the museum has received $2.6 million in capital funding from both the City Council, the Department of Cultural Affairs, and the Borough President's Office. We are working with program officers from the Department of Cultural Affairs regarding some of the logistics around the museum's property. A street of record runs through the property, and the museum's building actually sits in that street bed. So we've just received funding from the Staten Island Foundation to undergo the legal process to have this street of record removed. Additionally, there's an issue regarding a tax lien that was mistakenly put on the property in the 1970s that needs to be resolved. The lien has been vacated, but the paperwork does not reflect that in the Department of Law, so we're working with our title company and our lawyers to get that all straightened out right now, and then that will be forwarded onto our file at the Department of Cultural Affairs. We've spoken with Councilmember Mattio's office a few months ago, DCLA and DDC, and since a work scope was designed in 2017, our plan is to have DDC come back to the museum, revise that work scope with updated costs, because at this point we're just asking for escalation and the agency fees. And so we did not put in a 2021 request because we don't really know what the money is, so it didn't make sense for us to put in a 21 request, but with the updated figures, we'll request the balance in FY '22. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for all of your help with this, navigating this capital process, which is kind of intimidating, but I think we have a plan to go forward and then hopefully get everything moving in the next year or two.
Have you, has your successor
No,
been picked yet?
there's no, they haven't found a replacement yet, but a job description will be going out shortly, and if anybody knows anyone who's interested, they should email me or the board at this point.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for running this. You definitely contributed a lot to both the museum and to Staten Island. I know how hard you work. I've been on the other end of your frantic phone calls trying to make things work. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you guys.
Does anybody have else have any?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I remember that.
Okay, Tony, Natural Resources Protective Association.
Great, thanks for this opportunity. This is, we've repurposed folders from sanitation. So, reduce, reuse, recycle. And, I'm Tony Rose, I'm a retired nurse, and for a long time I've been engaged with the Natural Resources Protective Association. The NRPA, fighting to protect our marine resources. We're friends of the harbor. All right, the NRPA started 40 years, open the folder. Let's look at this, because I got 3 minutes and I want you here. I don't want you leaking through the stuff. So let's look and see what we got. All my contact information is on the top of the folder. Inside the folder, there's some brochures. The Wetlands of New York. All right, this is a nonpartisan, this is an educational thing, talks about how the fact that New York Harbor is an estuary, where the land meets the water, the fresh water meets the sea, and it's a unique, really special place. So it talks about what's important about a wetland, the challenges we face, and what we can do. If anybody, the council people, the borough president's office wants to give this away, there is no copyright, there's no restrictions, please make some copies. Contact me, I'll send you the PDF so you can make clean copies. This is a great thing to give to school kids, to community groups, to talk about the harbor. There's a brochure of the NRPA, a little about who we are, where we come from, what we do. I'll go into that a little bit more detail. There's a copy of our most recent newsletter. So you get an idea of who we are, the activities that we do, and what's going on. On the right side, what I'm here to talk mostly about today is a review of the Staten Island Student Summit. The Student Summit is just a magical, magical event. On the front there's a to-do list, and we'll talk about that later. So the scoop is, all right, I'm still Tony Rose, you're you. Thank you for being here. A retired nurse, and all along the way, I want to be Jacques Cousteau. You know, that didn't work out so well. But now, it turns out being Tony Rose is all right, because the NRPA started 4 years ago. There was some guy who lived in a houseboat in Lemon Creek, Lou Figarelli, was just some guy, and he wasn't engaged in the community or anything, but some of his fishermen friends said the Army Corps of Engineers wants to put an island of contaminated dredged mud in the middle of the harbor. They want to put bulkheads up, 2,500 acres, about the size of Coney Island, of contaminated mud. Now the harbor is an economic engine. You sit at Blue over your margarita and watch the container ships go by, watch the car carriers go by. Thousands of jobs, billions of dollars supports the industry, supports the city. So the harbor has to be dredged. The average depth of the harbor is 18 feet. We need 50, 55 feet to take these ships in and out. And that's fine. We're all for dredging, we're all for the economy, but what do you do with that mud when you're done with it? About a third of it bears a legacy of New York's industrial history. It's full of PCBs, leads, zinc, mercury, arsenic, PCBs, PAHs, there's a whole list of alphabet stuff. So our concern was, if you're going to take it out of the ocean, why do you want to put it back in the water? Because the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the crabs eat the worms, the little fish eat the crabs, the big fish, and we eat the big fish at the end, okay? It just makes no sense. The harbor's coming back, the water's cleaner than it's been since the Civil War. So he got an organization together, and 10,000 members, the Coalition for In-Water Disposal, which eventually morphed into the NRPA. And it's a magnificent harbor, and it's beautifully, and people started to rediscover the water. And we're very incestuous, a lot of the not-for-profits, we wear a lot of hats. I'm a member of the Protectors of the Pine Oak Woods, I'm a member of Staten Island Sport Divers. Some days I wear my Protectors of the Pine Oak Woods hats, and we're trying to fix trees and save fish. Every year they take a million cubic yards, which for context is the size of a twin tower of mud out of the harbor. So the NRPA fought, this little group of people fought the Army Corps of Engineers to a halt. And 40 years later, we're still fighting the same fight. Because if you ever worked with the feds, it's like playing whack-a-mole. You know, we stopped the dredged island. Now they want to fill the borrow pits. We're going to fill the back third of Jamaica Bay with contaminated mud. We're going to put 3 feet of sand on top of it. And now with the HADS, the Harbor Tributary Studies, they want to go back to dredged islands. So we keep doing that. We keep shining the light on. And we moved from advocacy to activism to education. We do a series of cleanups in the spring. In the fall, we get scout groups and church groups. We have kids and parents come together. We show them the critters from the ocean. We talk about water quality testing. And we end with the Staten Island Student Summit. So we said last year we had the environmental fair. And we had 100 people, and we put the citizens and the people from the groups together. We had them meet people from the Parks Department who were worrying about stormwater overflow. We gave away sanitation bags. We had all the different organizations come so people find out how to help, how to do things, how to get into nature, all right, and save the planet while they're having fun. We end with the Staten Island Student Summit. That's a magnificent day. It's the hallmark of our activity. What we do is we take 200 kids. We have 5 different schools scattered from all across the island. 200 kids and teachers and parents come together, and we mix them up first so they hang with kids who they never would meet otherwise. And we break them into half. Half of the group goes to 6 field trips. They do a cleanup where they tally what they find so we can discern trends over time. They may do a nature walk. They may go do a scuba demonstration. We have surf fishing. The other half go to 6 roundtable, 6 flash learning stations, where the Staten Island Zoo shows them critters. Somebody at the zoo pulls a corn snake out of her pocket. They have possums and red-tailed hawks. And the NRPA does a thing on horseshoe crabs, which were old before dinosaurs even arrived. It's a great day. Non-point source pollution. Clay Wolney shows them about freshwater wetlands. It's just a magical day. Then we take a quick break. They eat their bag lunch and rotate. The field trip kids do the flash learning. The flash learning kids go to the shore. About 12:30, everybody gathers up back on the bus, says, thank you, NRPA, and they're changed. They're changed. These are kids who are not going to throw the Burger King bag out the window on the wrong plate. They're not going to let their uncle empty the basin of used oil into the catch basin. We're developing citizens, informed, enlightened voters. Now that I'm retired, and I highly recommend it, great. I have a chance to follow up. And so, because you shoot the rockets up, you never know where they come down. Has this changed any kids' lives? IS-24, the kids at the School for Civic Leadership, they're getting rain barrels. They're getting the DEP to give them rain barrels so they can stop the sewage overflows. They can catch stormwater. They're going to use that on community gardens. The kids from IS-24 got their teachers to do a citizen science project and teach them about the Billion Oyster Project. Because the oysters filled with water, we had people from the harbor school come and talk about that. My rock stars are IS-7. The IS-7 kids. We give each of the kids a vinyl drawstring backpack. Because once the day is over, do you remember what you did? Do you remember anything about it? Each of the kids gets a double-walled stainless steel insulated bottle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay. The IS-24 kids were stunned by the plastic bottles, by the stuff that they find on the beach. And they said, we want to make a green team. So they got a green team, they made posters, banned the bottle. The school backed their play and bought hundreds of steel bottles, and the green team, on their lunch hour, sold bottles to the kids. So on your to-do list, there's a The to list on the front, it says, type into your browser, Staten Island Student Summit. There's a 4-minute video. It explains the whole day. And the soundtrack, Jake Shimikaburu is a ukulele player, and it's just beautiful. We called his management agency and said, can we use this music for the soundtrack? He said, you're not gonna sell it? No, we're not gonna sell it. We're selling it. We don't want your money, we want your soul. Okay? It's a 4-minute video. I highly recommend it. I sometimes put it on just to listen to the music. Underneath is there's another celebrating the green team. It's a story about the IS7 kids. It's 17 minutes, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but there's a great scene. Hundreds of kids holding up their IS7 bottles and their RPA bottles. Somebody from Councilor Mattio's office came to one of our meetings and said, you know, my daughter's going to college. And we said, there's a list of things we gotta do. We gotta get a case of water, stick it on your bed. She rose up. She said, I have a water bottle. We look down at people who use it. I said, no. We're just trying to lessen it. It's like gasoline's not going away. We want to get wind power, solar power, but it's going to be a long time to make the transition. People are freaking out over bags. Come on, deal with it. You know, Aruba got rid of plastic bags years ago. The island's better for it. The city's going to be better for it. 28 billion plastic bags. Go to Lotteret and watch on the fence. Look at the fence along Lotteret Park. There's like a mosaic. It's beautiful. There's red, green, purple, yellow, white. All these plastic bags that blew onto the fence and didn't blow into the Arthur Kill. So that's a good thing. The kids from IS7 sold the bottles. They were on Staten Island Cable TV. They asked for the whole 6th grade to come. They did a cleanup of both parks. So Parks, what's wonderful people working for the city. Parks Department gives us gloves. The sanitation gives us bags for cleanups. We don't need a whole lot of money. But this costs about $3,000. Marie has been our guardian angel. Has been our fairy godmother. So I really appreciate all the work Maria's done. We've got $1,000 from the Borough President's office for the last 2 years. What we would like to see is $1,000 from the Borough President and $500 from each City Council person. $500. It's chump change. You know, and there's a lot of not-for-profits. What's special about us is it's all volunteers. To be on a board, you usually have to guarantee $10,000, $25,000 to the agency. I don't have any money. I don't know anybody who has any money. You know, we bring energy. 500 from each City Council person, 1,000 from the Borough President, that covers this. You know, every once in a while we need a garden cart, we need a new computer, we need a shed. We take care of that. But that's the deal. So on the list, it says, go look at the videos, nrpa.com. That's our website. Find out who we are. Send money to the NRPA. That's the next list. It's not a lot. It doesn't take a whole lot of money. It takes a little hard. Questions, comments, good remarks?
Anybody on the board?
No, you're very passionate about what you do.
Oh,
You got me psyched.
cool. Oh, yeah, like in kind, we got the Department of Education to sign on. They make the kids each get a workbook, and as they go station to station, you'll see in the video, it's very exciting. And you can use these to take everybody else's testimony and hold on to them during the day. So, cool. All right, thank you very much.
Tony.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Okay, JCC.
Good morning, my name is Anita Brockmeyer, and I'm the Chief Development Officer of the JCC of Staten Island. The JCC is one of the largest not-for-profit organizations on Staten Island and has been dedicated to serving the residents of the borough for over 90 years. We strive to positively impact the lives of all of our members, as well as everybody else on Staten Island, all members of our society, from infancy to senior adults. Our mission is to assist all individuals reach their fullest potential. Through high-quality programs, annually, we engage the interest and further the abilities of over 40,000 residents. Major initiatives include education literacy, advocacy, healthcare wellness, social services, emergency response and preparedness, community organizing, and family engagement. I'm excited to announce that the JCC was chosen to lead the development of the first naturally occurring retirement community, better known as Newark, on Staten Island. Newark assists senior adults to maintain connection to the world around them. Services may include case management, food security, preventative health measures, social activities, counseling, transportation, and nursing services. This immense accomplishment marks the start of city and hopefully state Newark dollars allocated to the borough. For many years, Staten Island was the only borough without a Newark. Now, this funding has enabled us to hire a full-time program coordinator to conduct a needs assessment in designated high-need areas. The findings will assist us to identify gaps in services. This year, we are requesting additional Newark dollars to enable us to provide the services identified in the assessment, and the assessment is due out in April, but we already are picking up on some items. This past year, the JCC has noted several accomplishments which improved quality of life for those we serve. We are requesting support to continue the advancement of the following programs. The JCC's Youth Health Initiative assists us to engage youth from the community to participate in educational, recreational, and social programming. The greatest objective of the contract is to unite youth in a safe and welcoming environment. The target population also included youth with disability, fostering an inclusive environment for all. Funds to support STEM, arts, and literacy assist us to improve Staten Island students' interests and ability. Through a variety of innovative and engaging activities, students get to unlock their potential. The JCC is again requesting support to continue our mission to ensure that youth have the academic resources, including STEAM and literacy education. The JCC has expanded our reach of service to accommodate the growing senior adult population in the borough. So not only are we overseeing the Newark, we also operate 2 DFTA-funded neighborhood senior centers, as well as an innovative senior center that provides service to approximately 600 individuals a day. The JCC also continues to receive funding to assist caregivers throughout the borough. To meet the evolving needs of our participants, the JCC continues to operate Rosemary's Place and My Place, programs that specifically are designed for individuals in different stages of Alzheimer's disease. In the past year, we have noted a drastic increase in the daily needs requested at our South Shore location, and we are struggling to keep up with the demand based on our current funding. This year, in addition to requesting funds to support our vital senior centers, we are requesting additional money for senior adult meals on the South Shore. This past year, the JCC successfully served over 700 adult education students. During this time, we've had students on a waiting list, which clearly demonstrates the critical need for additional services within the community. And for adult ed, we are covering HSC, ESL, ABE, all the different types of adult education. During the summer of 2019, the JCC's enrollment soared at Sunrise Day Camp. This is a day camp where we served 143 youth diagnosed with cancer, as well as their siblings. And many of the youth were actively receiving active treatment. There are certain guidelines. Children with cancer have to have been treated over the last 5 years. So some of them are in remission. Funding is essential to operate this extraordinary program free of charge. So none of the campers do pay for this service, and as you can expect, many of the families are really in dire need of assistance. They really don't have the extra dollars. So the JCC is also requesting funding for the following citywide and other speaker initiatives: adult literacy, autism initiative, and that's Kids Club for special kids. We have after-school programs for children, and again, there's a lot of inclusion going on with that. We're asking for funding for the city's first readers, for our food pantry. It is a kosher food pantry, but we provide food to anybody who needs it. We're looking for additional funding for geriatric mental health, an immigrant health initiative, information referral services, and again, that is connected to our senior centers, the Newark, social adult daycare. We have a virtual senior center, and that provides senior adults who are homebound with, computers so they can take part in classes. So thank you again for all of your past support and for partnering with the JCC of Staten Island as we provide these vital programs to the residents of our borough. We also did submit an application for our capital for the new roof at the Burn Capital then.
Just a few quick questions. The city's first readers initiative, does the J do, early intervention, or this is like your version of?
We're actually looking into early intervention, but we do have the, program First Foot Forward for nursery-age children, with special needs. So,
And what's the youngest, child?
right
at the
now,
time?
the youngest we work with is 3. And we have daycare, so that's,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Anybody else have any questions for Anita?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I believe that this is everybody who signed up to speak. I know we also had the Bloomfield Conservancy came, and I just want to welcome them, but they chose just to observe. So, thank you for coming. Okay, just for the board members, so technically this year, not going to adjourn, we're just going to, just move over to the evening session, so can I entertain a motion for that, please? Okay, Anthony first, Debbie second, okay? I will see the board members, tonight at 5:30 for the remaining, people who are coming to speak.